we're going over 25 secrets that you didn't know about Black Ops 6, because there was a lot of things shown but not explained in the Black Ops 6 Direct that you will have missed, and secrets that I learned when I saw and played Black Ops 6 early at Treyarch. Starting with the fact that Vorkuta is in Black Ops 6. You did just hear me right. One of the most iconic areas in all of the Black Ops franchise, where you as Alex Mason break out of Vorkuta with none other than Viktor Reznov, is back in Black Ops 6. And most surprisingly of all, it is not just in the campaign. During the campaign overview in the Black Ops 6 Direct, one of the areas mentioned that we'll be visiting is a snowy tundra in northern Russia. They never specified that this was Vorkuta itself, but one of the first key giveaways is this shot of an excavator. And the last and only time that we have seen an excavator before in Black Ops was in the Black Ops 1 mission Vorkuta. But furthermore, if we break down every possible clip we've been shown of Vorkuta, you can match it up one-to-one with the Black Ops 1 version. The bird's eye overview in the chopper gunner is the exact same area as what we saw in the Black Ops 1 version. One of the main front buildings from Vorkuta has the classic iron sickle, and we see it exactly the same here in the Black Ops 6 gameplay. And a massive shout out to 5KZU on Reddit, who was able to compare these two frames exactly matching Black Ops 1's campaign. And we even see the same bridge in the Black Ops 6 campaign as the original Vorkuta, set with the same shaped glass tile windows on the wall and the roof. This is extremely exciting to see because the connotations with Vorkuta to the Black Ops narrative include MK Ultra programming and Viktor Reznov. So who knows, we may get a mention of Viktor Reznov, or maybe even an explanation if he's alive or not. So I could dive into a whole separate video about why I believe Viktor Reznov is still alive and go into all of the evidence from all of the Black Ops games that pretty much tells us he is, but this video would be far too long otherwise. So if you'd want to see that video, let me know in the comments. Maybe drop this video a cheeky thumbs up. We see 1 second of multiplayer gameplay where it looks like it's set in the same area as the campaign. So Vorkuta as a multiplayer map? On the topic of multiplayer maps, let's now talk about Nuketown, because it's 100% returning to Black Ops 6. As when we were presented the multiplayer maps at Treyarch, we got to see a full screen of all 12 multiplayer maps as small squares. But when they moved on to talk about the smaller strike maps, we were shown 4 images, but one of them was redacted, but you could just see behind it to know that it is 100% Nuketown. And what we could tell from behind the redaction was that it seemed to have some sort of desert theme this time around. And in one of the sections of the BO6 Direct, you can see a developer on a computer screen looking at the UI for the game, showing a multiplayer menu where in the bottom left, you can see that it is loading Nuketown. And in the very background of the menu image, you can just make out what is the Black Ops 2 Nuketown sign. So maybe that's a potential placeholder image, but either way, Nuketown is 100% returning. And one of the biggest mysteries that was not explained in the Black Ops 6 Direct is the involvement of a top secret CIA group called Advanced Technology and Research. From the very beginning of the Black Ops 6 marketing, the logo for this group has been hidden throughout various pieces of imagery, with multiple pieces of this logo cut up and placed in various different imagery. And one of the most obvious places is within the Black Ops 6 box art. You can make out parts of it behind the soldier, which means this is an integral part of Black Ops 6. Now, this logo being cut up and hidden throughout various pieces of marketing has to have been done for an intentional reason, for us, the community, to notice, pick it apart, and put it all together. So who could Advanced Technology and Research actually be? The short version is I have 2 theories. The first one, that this is the military company that creates all of the technology that we use throughout the Black Ops 2 future campaign. I'm talking all of the robots, the weapons, the crazy cool equipment we use, like the wingsuits and being able to scale up walls. We have never had it explained who exactly created all that technology, and if next year's game is connecting to Black Ops 2 as some sort of remake or sequel, then it all lines up just too perfectly. My second theory is that this could be some sort of new CIA division that Richtofen has created in Black Ops 6 Zombies after dissolving Requiem. We know that his Project Janus involves something about the opening and closing of gateways and being able to transcend this reality to basically go to the beginning and end of time, and that of course involves the Dark Ether and powers beyond what is capable by just a normal human. Creating a new division to create that technology sounds absolutely right to me. But again, this could be an entirely separate video on its own, so if you want to see that, let me know. Another massive secret that was not mentioned in the Black Ops 6 Direct but confirmed at Treyarch is that Alex Mason and Jason Hudson are both dead in Black Ops 6. As described in the Direct, the campaign of Black Black Ops 6 takes place 2 years after the flashback missions in Black Ops 2's campaign. And in those flashback missions, some major plot points happen that affect Black Ops going forward. One of those events is that Frank Woods is set up by Menendez to accidentally kill Mason. Now, depending on where you shot Mason in the campaign determined a slightly different ending where he either survived or he was dead, but Treyarch confirmed to us that Mason's death is canon to Black Ops 6, meaning regardless whatever ending you got when you played Black Ops 2, the genuine, real, canon ending that will follow into Black Ops 6 is where Mason dies. Following moments on from that tragic moment, Frank Woods has both of his kneecaps blown off by Menendez with a Spaz 12 shotgun, which is why he's in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Now, we'd only seen old man Woods in a wheelchair in Black Ops 2, but in Black Ops 6, we can see he's still a very young man, but he is now in a wheelchair, confirming that everything in Black Ops 2 is canon. Now, the next secret is following on from everything being canon in Black Ops 2 means that Menendez still exists in the time frame of Black Ops 6, so there's every chance that we could see Menendez in the game, as there is a massive gap in time between 1989 and 2014, where all we know is Menendez hid in the shadows, working to gather his men and resources needed to begin his world revolution. But whilst we were at Treyarch, we got shown a timeline of how the games fit in with each other, and it mentions about Black Ops 3's timeline being canon to the Black Ops story. We learned in Black Ops 3 that canonically Menendez was reported to have been killed while trying to escape Haiti disguised as a soldier. But in one of the endings in Black Ops 2, David Mason kills Menendez, and this is considered the canonical ending of the game. The next biggest secret is when explaining the timeline of Black Ops at Treyarch, their presentation did not include the future missions in Black Ops 2. It skipped straight to Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 after Black Ops 6. Now, this is extremely confusing because it goes back to the point we spoke about with Menendez, where we know he must exist in Black Ops 6. We know from Black Ops 3 that he did die, but it seems that perhaps Treyarch have other ideas up their sleeves to retell the narrative of the Black Ops 2 future missions, or maybe even replace them with a new story altogether. Only time will tell. But on the topic of campaigns, one detail that you might have missed is that in the safe house, we can see the evidence board. Now, this was something that was added in Black Ops Cold War that allow you to not only pick your next missions, but also see various pieces of intel, and it basically connected every part of the story together by the end of it. And according to Killer Stidge on Twitter, he's been able to find out that due to there being 16 pins on the evidence board, as well as there being a map of Europe on the evidence board, these pins give us a little bit of an indication on the location of these missions, as well as a potential number of total missions in the campaign, with there being 16 total pins. Now, for whatever reason, this is not a global mission map. We can tell it's just Europe, so this might be just 16 missions that takes place in Europe, but there'll be countless more missions that will take place in Russia and the United States that we already know about. When it comes to multiplayer, you will have blinked and missed this moment, but there was one screen that showcased Gunsmith for Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and there seems to be an icon within the image that suggests that weapon prestiges could be returning to the game. It would be a cool addition because in recent years, all you do is level up a gun to max rank, and that's pretty much it. So the potential of being rewarded for using a weapon and then having to rank it up again, I think some people will like. This next secret wasn't explicitly mentioned in either the Black Ops 6 Direct or when I got to see the game at Treyarch, but it seems that the Zombies map Terminus might be inspired by a multiplayer map from Call of Duty World at War back in 2008, as the map shares a massive resemblance to the multiplayer map Battery. This was a medium-sized map based on Fort Drum in the Philippines. It was an armored island surrounded by anti-ship mines and shore-to-ship cannons, and it's really hard not to see there is a slight resemblance in the fact that that map has a cannon, the same location as what was in the original Battery map. And if that is the case, I think this is a super cool throwback to a map that probably no one's ever played. Now, a secret detail that you will have blinked and missed within the Black Ops 6 Direct is that in one of the shots of Black Ops 6 Zombies, you can notice the rampage inducer behind one of the operators. If you aren't aware, this is a feature that was added late into Black Ops Cold War in every single round-based zombies map that makes the zombies rapidly appear and move faster all the way until round 55, adding increased challenge but also making the game a lot faster to progress between rounds. This is definitely a welcomed addition to the game, and another secret detail that's welcomed is that salvage is returning to zombies. This was an additional currency in Black Ops Cold War Zombies that the zombies would drop when killed, would act as a secondary currency system that you would use specifically at crafting tables as well as the arsenal station, purchase armor for your player as well as increase your weapon tier level, and use at the crafting table to create lethal and tactical equipment as well as score streaks and self-revive kits. Now this next secret definitely flew over everyone's heads during the Black Ops 6 Direct, but within multiplayer, you're now getting a new weapon slot in creator class. During my presentation at Treyarch, it was revealed that there is now a dedicated melee weapon slot where you'll be able to choose whatever melee weapon you want, and when in game, by holding out the melee button, you'll pull out the chosen melee. I think this is a pretty cool addition because over the years we have seen different melee weapons in Call of Duty multiplayer, but that always replaced your primary weapon. Now you've got that dedicated slot, you can bring out whatever melee weapon you want when you hit that melee button. Now I don't think this was mentioned at all on the Black Ops 6 Direct, but from what we got to see at Treyarch, one of the biggest UI improvements coming to Black Ops 6 is that the quick join list, which was part of Black Ops 3's menus, will be returning. This means regardless of what game mode you are playing, that quick list will be there and you can immediately join your friends. This was what made Black Ops 3 so great, so it's amazing to see it return. But another incredible secret that you wouldn't have seen is that in the multiplayer menu image we got to see at Treyarch, it had a camo challenge widget in the main multiplayer menu, which means instead of shifting through the weapon menus on that specific weapon to find and track the progress of a camo unlock, it is now pinned to the top left of the main menu screen so you can always see it. Not having to shift through more menus is a massive W. Now this next secret is one that even I didn't realize until making this video. When we were at Treyarch and got a showcase of the Omni movement, they showcased it across campaign, multiplayer, and zombies by the looks of it. Now I could be wrong and my memory might be playing tricks on me here, but I'm super confident at one point we got to see one of the characters do a backwards dolphin dive from a glass window and they landed into water below. So I'm gonna put it out there that I'm fairly confident that a portion of the Terminus Zombies map will include an area with water that you can swim in, because the elevated platform that they were in and the glass and what was below looked pretty big, maybe too big for a multiplayer map. And with that island being surrounded by water, it only makes sense that they would have that, and seeing as there was a Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4 Zombies map that had swimmer mechanics, wouldn't put it past them to reintroduce the idea of water and swimming in zombies back, as we didn't see anything like that in Cold War. Now the next secret thing you didn't know is some of the confirmed weapon names that we got to see at Treyarch. There's a lot of weapons that you see in the Direct, but we don't get names, and at Treyarch we got 7 confirmed gun names, which includes the Ames 85, which is an assault rifle, the Jackal PDW SMG, which is pretty much the AK-74U, the XM4 is returning from Black Ops Cold War, which is amazing because it's one of my favorite weapons, the Marine SP shotgun, the Compact 92, which is either an AR or an SMG, I couldn't tell, the SVD, which is the Dragunov sniper rifle, and the 9mm PM handgun. On top of that, I have 3 multiplayer field upgrades to share with you in this video that we got at Treyarch. One of them being Warcry, where your player takes out 2 flares, strikes them together, and in whatever area they were in at the time, gives you and your teammates a buff to your score. Another field upgrade is called Signal Lure, which looked like a pager with a dial on it, and this broadcasts your location to the enemy team. You're basically giving yourself away, and if you take those enemies out, you will get bonus score on top. It's a bit like a Most Wanted in multiplayer. And then finally a spy camera, which pulls out a 90s era camera that you hold out with your weapon and you take images of enemies using it. Now a secret detail that you may have missed in the Direct is that multiplayer maps might have multiple variants, and we have an example here with this satellite map called Scud. It's a map set in the Persian Gulf, and at multiple times we see it where it's got a dark grey gloomy skybox, and then we also see shots of it where it's in the daytime, and I personally think that's a really cool addition to multiplayer. Now another secret detail we got told at Treyarch is to do with sniper rifles in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and of course you want these to be powerful and hard-hitting, and we got the confirmation that all of the sniper rifles in Black Ops 6 multiplayer are a one-shot from the torso up, which again is a massive W and sounds like proper quick scoping is going to be back in Black Ops 6. Let's now dive back to the campaign for some secrets that you wouldn't have known about from the Black Ops 6 Direct, starting with one of the missions we got to see at Treyarch called Capital Station, and this mission is going to be very similar to the KG KGB headquarters mission in Cold War, with the fact that it's an entirely free roam mission, which will be very different to anything you've played in Call of Duty before, as this will have multiple ways for you to complete the mission, as there will be multiple outcomes that you can do to get to that conclusion. And we were told a few of the ways, including blackmailing a senator's wife, hacking into a silent auction, and even going undercover as a journalist. And I think we get a shot of this in the direct, as we see a pass being used to try and get into the front entrance. Another secret you may not have realized is that shown in the direct, the campaign will have multiple boss enemy types that they're introducing to try and mix up the gameplay, and one that we got to see a sneak peek of was a juggernaut coming out of a lift in the Capital Station mission. Now, this isn't your typical jug, because we watched the gameplay as the player struggled to take it down, and only specific areas of the body would take damage. So rather than it be purely just a bullet sponge boss, there's actually a little bit of tactic involved in taking some of these special enemies out, which I think is cool to see in a campaign. I remember right at the start of the video when we spoke about Vorkuta, where there was yet another Vorkuta secret which was hidden inside the Black Ops 6 direct, because what I think no one has noticed is that when talking about the strike maps coming to Black Ops 6, one of these strike maps might be none other than the actual mines inside of Vorkuta prison itself, with the minecart in the middle, the multiple entrances, and the train track going along the bottom. It looks extremely similar to when you're first escaping Vorkuta prison and you're going through a underground tunnel of mines in order to get to the lift that lets you outside. And if that is the case, that's an extremely exciting and cool detail and location for a multiplayer map. Another multiplayer map which we didn't see or have explained in the direct is that the safe house within the Black Ops 6 campaign will be a multiplayer map, as when I went to Treyarch, one of the multiplayer maps that was shown for the 12 6v6 maps included the safe house, which I think is a really cool touch, because as explained in the direct, the multiplayer maps are set after the campaign, so there's some narrative explanation about why we could be revisiting some of these areas. There seems to be a lot of history with this safe house specifically, because creators recently got sent some redacted documents from Activision which includes the blueprints of the safe house. The direct has mentioned that it used to be a KGB black site in the 1960s, and we're there 30 years later, but there might be a lot of historical ties to where the location is of this safe house, which would also make for a really cool multiplayer map. Now, another secret detail that you didn't know is that within the Capital Station campaign mission, there is actually an Easter egg nod to Pawn Takes Pawn and Black Ops Cold War. Now, again, you wouldn't have seen this because it wasn't in the direct, but we got to see quite an extended look of over 4 minutes of the Capital Station campaign mission, and in one part, you, Marshall, and Adler are rappelling up a elevator shaft rope where it gets cut, you're about to fall to your doom, and you manage to end up on one of the higher elevated levels within elevator shaft, where for some reason on a chair is a chessboard with a game that was still in progress, and Marshall notices this during a conversation, starts playing chess. This has to be a reference back to Pawn Takes Pawn, viral marketing for Black Ops 6, as the very first teaser that we got was all about a very famous chess game that happened that gave us clues to find the website that was teasing Black Ops Cold War. And the final secret that you definitely missed is right at the end of the 26-minute Black Ops 6 direct. In one of the final clips, you can see that a player uses an enemy's body as a meat shield, but that's not in campaign. That is in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, meaning that in multiplayer, you can have meat shields now, which I think is a very cool detail and quite big. But if you learned something new from this video that you didn't know before, you need to drop a thumbs up before you leave. But hey, you want to learn more about Black Ops 6? Then subscribe for more videos like this. And if you want to learn everything about Black Ops 6, click this video on your screen now.